welcome in to Follow Everton. Hey, this is Chad coming to you from the States, joined by my good friend, Aussie Adam from Down Under. Adam, how are you?
Yeah, well, thanks, mate. Yourself?
I'm doing great. I'm looking forward to this match. I'm nervous that we might not be able to score goals, but they looked pretty competent against Bournemouth the last time out. Hoping that we see some of that again this time. How are you feeling looking at today?
I think like you just touched on there, good nervous. We did last time we versed Bournemouth, it was a 3-2, 3-2 score, and we looked comfortable. That's probably the first time we've looked that comfortable scoring goals. We looked, we did look comfortable, but then that last sort of 15, 20 minutes, we just completely shut the bed. So that's what I'm a little bit nervous about. And, they've got players that can hurt you as well, like Semenyo and Clivert and whatnot. I think Sinistera came on and scored that last minute winner to make it 3-2 last time we met. So, yeah, they've got players that got pace that can hurt you. And then last week, we just couldn't find anything really. There was no decent crosses. Well, we simply could not cross a ball from right to left or left to right from our overlapping fullbacks or anything. So I think that's a massive issue that we have.
Yeah.
At this point. What do you think?
Yeah, what you mentioned last week. Let's talk about Forest a little bit. I think they covered it in the preview, but Sean Dyche said something interesting to the press after that game. I don't remember if it was at his press conference or it was in some of the post-match comments, but he had said in the second half. Well, first of all, he had said that his team didn't execute in the first half the way that he wanted them to.
I remember him saying that as well. Yeah.
They weren't listening to his instruction, and then in the second half, he thought that they dominated Nottingham Forest, which is laughable in itself. So I actually went back. I went back and I watched the second half of this match. Just curious, like what did he then see and what did he get in the second half that he didn't see in the first half? And he made the substitution, took out Harrison and brought in Jesper Lindstrom. But Forrest scored that second goal at about the 60-minute mark. So are we to assume that there was a 15-minute window where Sean Dyche felt like we dominated Forrest?
I think watching the game, we did look like we had control, but then Knots were just like able just to sit back and just basically soak up all that pressure. But then we didn't actually really do anything with the ball. Which is quite concerning considering how much sort of domination we looked like we had at the time. But that was, it's not really domination if you're not actually scoring goals, at the end of the day. Like, if you've dominated 90% possession, you've done absolutely nothing with it, then, you're not really dominating. You're dominating the possession, but you're not really dominating the game because you're not influencing and putting goals on the score sheet. So that's concerning. And where we get in the goals from is another point as well, and I think that's hopefully what the freaking group need to look at.
Yeah, the Blues. I see it's not politics where we judge speeches. We're not judging speeches. I think we're judging mentality and the way that Sean Dyche is viewing the play of his team right now. He'd said that he thought they dominated Bournemouth. What I saw is they essentially started playing faster in the second half, and they were trying to generate chances, but getting drastically out of shape. And the goal that actually resulted, I think we all focused on Doucouré's back pass to Mikalenko, who was switched off at the time, and then it led to the goal. But that was all a result of Ganagay pushing very forward down the touchline, well out of position. Mangala also out of position. Jesper Lindstrom turns the ball over, and then next thing we know is it's getting crossed down the field and into a dangerous position. And Doucouré just had a moment of a lapse and an error, essentially.
Sorry, Chad, I think your mic's gone there, mate.
Sorry about that. I think the
right.
If we have a midfield, Adam, if we have a midfield that's incapable of helping really launch any kind of offensive attack, how do we ever have a chance of scoring a goal in this setup?
I think, yeah, the midfield when we have Mangala and Gay is quite good and it works well. But the issue that we have is that like Calvert-Lewin's starting to do a bit better, run the channels and stuff. We can see that Brozier's quite good at that as well and holding up the play. I think Brozier's actually better at hold up play than Calvert-Lewin and at the moment, I think the way that we're playing, we're getting Tarkowski and Bramthwaite, and they're just launching these big balls up to the top, and then it's just basically coming straight back at us. Gay and Mangala can break up the play. They can put out all the fires all around in midfield, but then that's kind of pointless if we're just getting the ball straight back to us. Like Everton can play reasonably well and keep the ball at times, but then if we're just doing that long ball pass straight up to Calvert-Lewin, 9 out of 10, he's generally got 2 to 3 defenders on him. He can't do much with that. But yeah, I do worry the style of play we are doing at the moment. It's just not like we're not going to get heaps of goals a game because it's just not effective. And we tried to dominate the play against Knights, and that didn't really do anything. We couldn't get I think the commentators were saying, just getting a simple ball around the back, around the defense. We're just not doing it when there's no overlaps. And you see that I think when Coleman came on, it was quite he started to get a few overlaps in as well, and Jesper Lindstrom. But I don't at this stage. I haven't seen too much from Jesper Lindstrom to fill me with confidence as well. Have you seen the starting lineup as well, Chad?
Yeah.
Oh, it's muted again. Yes.
Yeah, this mic is giving. Okay, yeah, let's look at it. If anyone wants to post the lineups in the chat, that would be appreciated as well. But it's more of the same from Sean Dyche. Very few changes from Nottingham Forest. We have Jordan Pickford in goal, Tarkowski and Branthwaite starting as our center halves, flanked by Mikalenko out left, Young out right, Mangala and Gana Gay in the central midfield, Decore ahead of them, supporting that striker, and then out wide we're looking at Jesper Lindstrom on the right and Dye on the left, and then Broja. Broja keeps his spot over Calvert-Lewin. A little surprised by that. Not that he played poorly. I thought it could have very well been Calvert-Lewin against Forest as well. I think it was just more of what we've been seeing all season. The strikers just seem completely neutered in this setup, not getting any service, not able to affect the game in any way. Are you surprised we're not seeing Calvert-Lewin back in the lineup today?
No, actually. And I have a feeling that I don't know if you saw the comment that or listened to the comment in Sean Dyche's press conference. I think it was the one against Notts Forest or the upcoming one for Bournemouth. But he did mention that he was quite impressed with Broja, and that he's quite a good player. So I think he actually likes what he sees in Broja, and I actually rate him as well. I actually do think he's going to actually help us score a few goals. So, and he's offers something a bit different as well. He seems to, if he's not really in, like when we was in even against Notts, he would drop back and actually try and collect the ball, which we don't actually see too much from when Calvert-Lewin. He basically just just holds up on their centre half and just stands there really, and just he does try to cut off the angles and whatnot, but I feel like with Broja, we'll get more presence about him as well, and he'll come back and drop into the midfield if he needs to get into the game, which is something that we want to actually see in our forward for Everton, I believe, in most Everton fans.
Yeah, I think I see it very similarly. The Blues here, Broja looks like he's got a bit of pace and dribbling ability. He's still not a goal scorer. Well, he hasn't been for us, but you can't really credit anyone with being a goal scorer for us right now. So we're still lacking Dwight McNeil. He's out again with his knee injury. Adam, do you think, how much is Dwight's absence affecting what Sean Dyche has at his disposal? Effectively to be a little bit more creative with the lineups. Do you think he would have brought Dwight back into that 10 role at this point? Do you think he would have had a little more freedom to move and die into different places? Where do you think Dwight McNeil and the lack of his presence has really hurt this team?
Quality of crosses and quality of set pieces is massive. Dwight gives us that consistency, and I think that's what. Yeah, I mean, in his absence, we've really, really missed it. we've seen Jesper try to step up to that. We've seen Indai taking some corners as well. But yeah, I think just Dwight's presence, even in the way Dwight takes, he's not lightning fast, but what he does offer is incredibly. He does have really good footwork when taking on players. That's what we really miss. But I think also, like, if we see a little bit more from Indai, I actually want to see him, take on 2 or 3 players and break into that space, because that's when he can really, really, really hurt teams. And that's what I want to see from him against Bournemouth, because he's going to have to do that to open him up. If not, like, I don't really see any other inlets into us getting a goal. Like, it may be a set piece and sort of like a Bramthwaite type or Tarkowski type header that's going to start getting us a goal or two, and then we're going to end up drawing 1-1 or a 1-0 victory. I can see.
Yeah, I think you're right about Endine. He is the one person that doesn't hesitate to take someone on. Often he'll take 1 or 2 or 3 guys and push upfield. Because the midfield is so defensive oriented, he's really, it feels like, the only outlet we have for being attack minded. Do you think this team could benefit from a change in formation? I was wondering earlier this week if Sean Dyche, tried to completely mix it up, maybe goes to a back 3 or a back 5, brings Michael Keane in, lets Vitaly Mikolenko sit, or does something. It doesn't seem like something. What we often see from Sean Dyche is that he doesn't change it up. He doesn't change his approach. If he's making substitutions, it's a like for like sub. If it's filling out the team sheet, again, like for like. Do you think it's time that we see some kind of formation change or some kind of different approach to potentially finding some more offense?
I think that's a hard one, because also I think what's happened a bit as well is, like, we've seen Decore being so effective as basically a second striker in the past, but he's really not really performed over these last games, and that's hurt us as well, because when he seems to get the ball, he's seeming to slip a pass, and it's a turnover and stuff, and then I actually give Sean Duff credit for the defending side of it. Every time we lose the ball, generally everyone's back behind the play. So we're actually defending well, but then we've also conceding goals through just sheer mistakes. So that's an issue as well. It's not like it's been incompetent defending. It's actually just been mistakes on players' behalves. But yeah, like, even Decore running around in the midfield is sort of sometimes pointless if you're not going to actually affect the game there in each position, and that's what we're lacking, is like having a right winger, like, taking on players, whip across in, or cutting inside, shooting. That's what we need to do. Like, and even against Knots, you saw like Mikolenko trying in the overlaps and stuff. He was essentially told to stay forward and whip crosses in. And then you saw him trying to whip a few crosses in, and it basically went behind the goal. So, and went out of play. So, how do we affect games? How do we score goals if that's happening? I don't know if that's a formation type issue, or if that's something completely different there. But yeah, I don't really know how you can fix that in the formation. But
yeah, maybe Sean Dyche doesn't know. The Blues, he has changed. He just gone to a flat midfield 3 now, instead of having Decore directly behind the striker. I mean, certainly because we've been playing, 10 men behind the ball so much, and I think Decore just naturally wants to almost sit back and be more defensive minded. So I don't know if that's Sean Dyche telling him to instead create that flat midfield 3, or if that's just something Abdoulaye Decore is doing, freelancing.
But there's also with Decore staying so far back, what that does is that creates a huge gap between Calvert-Lewin or Brozier, who's playing up top, and our midfield. So if a ball comes into Calvert-Lewin, he's up by himself against probably 3 or 4 players and no one next to him. That's our issue, is that we don't have that higher midfield press. Like, you can have someone like Mangala or Gay stay back as a deeper defensive midfielder, and then have someone else a little bit further forward, because it as soon as the ball goes up to Calvert-Lewin, it's just going to come straight back at us, and that's the issue that Bournemouth are going to sit into that gap between our striker and our midfield, which is going to be probably they're going to be flat as well. So I think that's an issue as well. If we had Doucouré sitting up a little bit further forward and putting pressure on the ball, we might notice a bit of a difference.
Yeah, I think this is
and then all of a sudden you look at him go, actually played quite well and he was effective.
Yeah, I think this is because Sean Dyche has been increasingly more pragmatic in his approach. You almost wonder, does he think a point a game is going to do it? Is going to keep this team up? Because it doesn't seem like we're seeing any fresh ideas. I know he is limited in what he has at his disposal, but it just seems more of the same. He's continuing to throw the same people out in the same positions, the same formation, and with very little changing or modifying of his approach. And what we're seeing is we're lucky to nick a goal, as Elimanendai did a couple matches ago. Yeah, Emma here. Thank you, Emma. Yep, that's exactly what he thinks, and I think that's what I think. Sean Dyche is just trying to keep his job and keep Everton above the relegation zone. I don't know, Adam. I didn't really leave you anything there, but
I think it's one of those where he's so scared that he doesn't want to concede on like 4 or 5 goals in a game. That's not what if he does that, like if we draw 0-0 or 1-1 or 1-0, we nick a win or we lose 1-0. I don't think it's like he's going to go, we got absolutely flogged and we're not going to get torn to pieces and pulled pants down sort of deal. But he's just trying to contain the mess. That's what it looks like. We're just trying to sit back, contain the mess so we don't get absolutely smoked.
Yeah. Dyche will be happy to have every game be 0-0. I'm just tired of it. That's not the kind of football I want to see. If I'm going to carve out time on my Saturdays to watch Everton, I want to be entertained. I don't want to feel the dread, the existential dread of every match, just wondering, are we going to nick a goal because by God, someone's going to make a mistake and we're going to give one up.
It's depressing to watch.
It's depressing. It's depressing. And I've kind of had it, I'm at the point now where if we can't get a goal in this game against a side that, yes, is in form, but they're gettable. We're not talking about Liverpool this season or Arsenal or Man City in previous seasons. This team is very beatable today. And I don't see a world in which we have a consistent plan to build out an attack that is capable of beating teams regularly. And if Sean Dyche cannot get a result from this game, and I don't mean just a 0-0, I need goals and I need points. If Sean Dyche cannot get a result out of this game, and then he's got to go, because we cannot continue this approach over and over and over again of running out the same tired, uncreative, unthoughtful players and expecting something different. We have not seen him try Harrison Armstrong, O'Brien, Patterson, who we know Patterson is an offensive-minded right back. He has his flaws. We're not seeing anything different. You don't need to have Ashley Young out at right back if you're going to keep 10 men behind the ball and push for a 0-0. You could try to be developing players like Roman Dixon or Nathan Patterson.
Sorry, I was just going to butt in there. Just as weird as it sounds, I'm actually kind of excited to see Ashley Young at right back because he can actually like whip in a cross. And that's something that we might actually like. I think you'll start to see that hopefully in this game, and he might be able to put a few crosses in. And, he can actually cross the ball. And I think that's, a little bit better than Mikolenko on the left, I would think.
Yeah, you're right. And how sad is that? Ashley Young's been...
Yeah, he's actually been quite good. So I don't think we can say anything there. Credit when credit's due. Like,
absolutely. You take our hat off to Ashley Young.
3 or 4 assists this season already. So
it's completely wild. Unacceptable. Ashley Young, 39 years old, has been one of our best players this season, and we are glad to have him in the lineup today against Bournemouth because he might lead to us scoring a goal. What did that in itself tells you everything you need to know about this season and this team under Sean Dyche. It's virtually like unacceptable to me. I don't want to continue doing this. I don't want to continue hosting these shows and then have to talk about the same dreadful performance every day. And I feel bad. Ryan is going to be on post-match today, and we're probably going to get a 0-0. And Ryan is going to get on and he's going to talk about how turgid we are and how shit we are. And he's right. And it's the same show that Ryan has had to do over and over and over again. This is the same pre-match that we've had to do over and over and over again because there's nothing, unfortunately, outside of the January transfer window and potentially the freaking spending money. What is there to look forward to right now? Because we're not in Bramley Moore, Doc, yet.
What did you think of? Just going to ask a quick question. What did you think about the 3 draws against Arsenal, Chelsea, and Man City? If I said that was going to happen, what would you have said?
What's to say? I bite your hand off for those points. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I don't want to watch it.
Yeah. And at times we potentially could have won those games as well. So, but the chances that they had, it was just like, we really should have been more confident in those chances. Like another team, or someone like Wolves, Brighton, Brentford, Bournemouth, like any teams like those, like Notts, they will actually convert those.
Yeah, absolutely. We could have beaten City.
That's my fear is that we really need to start converting those like close chances and take a chances and get those goals. Otherwise, we're going to be hurt severely.
But who's going to do that? Because this is the difference between Jack Harrison and a player that would be worth $65 million or 65 million pounds on the open market. We don't have players that are capable of being clinical, decisive, creative. We are throwing the same people out in the same positions and asking for different results. It's mind-boggling, and I need something to change. I don't know if there's any money to spend in this January transfer window, but we need something to change because this is a slow death march to relegation at this point.
Well, yeah, I've heard that Beto's been linked to the few clubs, Calvert-Lewin as well. So then we're left with Brozier, who's on loan, and Chimiti. That's it.
That is it. Yeah. And then Omar Benjamin on the U21s has played well recently. Yeah. I don't know what his future is like at the club.
But then you won't see him come in and he'll just get loaned out or sold to another club. And then that's what I hope the freaking, format and the way that they want to structure the club can change. That's what we want to see.
Yeah. Well, what do you want to see them? What do you want to see out of January? Well, if you could pick 3 positions for them to upgrade in January, what are they?
Right back would be one. I'd probably go for a left back as well. Since Seamus is still at the club and Ashley Young's 39 years old, and we've got Patterson that can't get a game. So we need someone that they can rely on. We need someone that can defend as well. I think that, but I don't, this is the thing though, like I don't know if it's going to be Sean Dyche still. And if it is, then he needs a Sean Dyche right back as opposed to a Kevin Thirlwell's right back that he thinks is great, but then he will get put in the team and then Sean Dyche won't play him. That's the fear. Like even O'Brien as well, he looks an amazing player, but then why doesn't he get a game? He's got Tarkowski and Brownthwaite in front of him, but
yeah.
At times, this is the thing is I think he should be changing the formation and putting a three centre backs, and giving putting a bit more defensive solidity in there. And because O'Brien's a beast of a player, he can play the ball really, really well. So, right wing, left back, striker.
Well, you brought up O'Brien quickly. I want to address the 3 positions that I think they should focus on in January as well. But why not go to a back 3? We know Jared Brentwaite has the mobility to be playing on that left side of a back 3.
That allows Brentwaite to do those runs that he actually likes to do from time to time. So then you get O'Brien and Tarky stay there as well, or hold back, or Ashley Young slots in.
Yeah. I'm not the biggest Michael Keane fan, but Michael Keane was not our biggest problem at the beginning of the year when he was playing regularly. Correct. So I would like to see a back 3 with McNeil as that left wing back. Figure out what that right wing back position is. Ashley Young doesn't have the legs for that anymore. Ashley Young's profile would actually be really great in that position. But I think we need to figure out some kind of change to I don't know, mix up the results that we've been getting. So my three, I want to see an 8. I want to see a box-to-box midfielder, someone who is capable of winning tackles in the midfield, just as Ghana Gay is. But I need him to be more offensively minded. I need him to be able to find feet with passes. I need him to be able to be creative in some way.
I've actually been very, very impressed with Mangala in that sense. Mangala is very, very good on the ball. He's very tidy. Very rarely loses possession. However, he's not like that explosive midfielder that's actually going to win you and get you a couple of goals. He has been taking a lot of shots recently. He's got a goal recently as well. But like you said, like getting an actual box-to-box midfielder, someone like a Ross Barkley or something, with that type of offensive creativeness as well as something that we're lacking severely. Yeah, what's your other two?
Yeah, at right wing for sure. I know Tom Fellows has been linked. There was one other person. I can't keep track of all the Everton
Yeah.
transfer gossip. I think another right winger has been linked recently. So yeah, certainly something on the right side of the midfield, and going forward. And then left back. I thought Mikalenko had a solid year last year playing next to Jared Branthwaite. He's not the same player he was last year. He doesn't want to get forward at all. And then when he does, he's not capable of putting a good cross in. So that's a spot that needs to get upgraded, either in
And
January, probably in the
if you had a
summer.
combination of like Mikalenko, we know there's a very good defensive left back, but if we had someone that was more of a creative, attacking, offensive left back, would be great. But and then you have a combination. Say you have Patterson, who's very offensive. You get a really good defensive right back. Then you've got a good combination between the two, and you can affect games by changing those two, like for like replacements.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, indeed.
that's that depth we do not have, which is something we can definitely improve on.
Yeah, that's when I don't mind for substitution is when the player coming on is going to bring something different that your team may be lacking in that
Yeah,
instance.
yeah,
We don't have if he's going to bring on Jesper Lindstrom for Harrison, what are we benefiting out of that? I mean,
yeah.
Lindstrom didn't really have a great work rate to start the season. He seems to have addressed that. We're not getting a goal from any one of them. We're not getting great crosses into the box like Dwight's capable of on the left. Tom Fellows is capable of that on the right from the highlights that I've seen. It's unfortunate. They have not built this squad out in a way to be complementary to the way that Sean Dyche wants to play. And I know there's been limitations for that.
I've actually seen a link. I think it was Evan Ferguson from Brighton. Have you seen that link? The
Oh
Irish
yeah, yeah.
striker. Yeah, yeah. So, but he could barely get a game at Brighton, but because he's got Welbeck and Joel Pedro in front of him. But yeah, someone like Ferguson, he's a very young up and coming striker. He'd be quite good. But yeah, he just hasn't had a lot of game time. So then he hasn't had a lot of experience in the Premier League. Then someone like Dyche will go, "Oh, well, we're not really going to play him because he hasn't got experience."
Yeah. I know you wanted to talk about some of the previous matchups
Oh yeah.
with Bournemouth. Yeah, I'll let you do that, and then we'll come back and get some predictions and look at comments. So, I know you've looked at recently. I know you recently looked at some of the previous matchups between Everton and Bournemouth. What did you see? What are you noticing?
Okay, so interestingly, from 1937, which is when we play the first game against Bournemouth, pretty much to about the 2019, we've lost twice to them. And then from 2019 to current date, we've lost 6 games and won 3. So that tells me that's slightly alarming. In the recent years, we've not done great against them.
Yeah,
It's
it shouldn't be close. Like Everton are on a
yeah.
different tier of club than Bournemouth. I know that they're positioned really well right now. They have a new American ownership with deep pockets. I think they brought in a new director of football actually that has just recently come from the MLS to look over their entire multi-club model. They are spending money. I believe they just had a signing earlier this week on an 18-year-old from the United States. So they are certainly on an upwards trajectory, but there is no
But
world
their
in
club
which,
modding is actually works well and it's been proven and is what clubs should be doing in the modern day. But
yeah,
we're still looking in transfer windows for a 39-year-old who can cover multiple positions, and like
yeah,
that sort of says where we're at this stage. We're literally just trying to stay afloat.
that's I hate it.
That's what's concerning. Yeah. Oh,
I hate
I
it.
think every Everton fan in this forum listening or alive understands that. So
Yeah, I just want players that we can believe in. That's
have
why.
we ever beat have we ever beat Bournemouth away in the Premier League? Um,
Oh, that's a good question. The Blues, if you know the answer, drop the comment.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm having a look here. Just two
No,
secs. Yeah,
that's okay.
keep
Uh,
going.
Yeah, hey, I see about 140 of you on. Thank you for watching. This is Follow Everton. This is your pre-match look at Bournemouth versus Everton as Everton head to the South Coast to take on a team that they should have beaten earlier in the season, where we lost 3-2. You had goals from Michael Keane and Dominic Calvert-Lewin in that one, and then unfortunately completely lost our heads. Ended up falling 3-2 in that matchup. So we're hoping for a much better result today. I don't know if I'm pessimistic about it. I don't feel like there's a goal in this team today. I'm hoping that we might just get a lucky one and then somehow be able to nick a 1-0. I think that would be the best possible outcome. And we're also due. I mean, sometimes, let's be honest, like goals in football are inherently fluky, by definition, fluky. So,
Sorry,
eh,
just to add
yeah,
to the Blues. So 2016 is when we last beat Bournemouth away.
2016.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it's modern day.
Modern day football. Well, I'm sure we can do it again.
I mean, yeah, we're not talking about going to Old Trafford in 1992 or something like that. All right, Adam, what are your thoughts? What are your predictions for this one today?
I'm gonna go a. I want to see goals. I really, really want to see us score a few goals. I'll be so happy if we can get like a 2-0 win, but I don't see that happening. Maybe we might nick a goal, but Bournemouth are extremely capable of scoring goals and hurting us. That's what scares the shit out of me. But I'm probably going to go 1-1.
Oh wow. Okay, who does that goal come from? Where will the chance land?
I'm going to probably say Brozier.
Broja. Wouldn't that be nice to have a striker that actually
A
scores a
striker
goal
that
for
actually
us?
scores goal. Yeah. I'm going to say Brozier because I actually
Wow.
like the look of him. I actually think he's good. But yeah, we'll wait and see. But
Yeah.
I'm still not confident with that result.
No, how could you be with everything that you've seen? Absolutely. I'm
Yeah.
gonna go. I'm gonna be hopeful. I'm gonna say a 1-0. I think Dyche keeps them really compact, really defensively sound. I think any offense is gonna come out of counters. Even though I think I just read an article this week that said like Everton are the worst counterattacking team in the Premier League this season as
Yeah.
well. I mean, what are you gonna do with that?
We can't
So
really score a lot of goals from open play, which hurts us. It's only set plays, which is because Dwight's missing no set play, real quality. So that's what's hurting us.
yeah, I think it's Mr. Blue Skies. I think you're seeing it probably similarly. This is going to be ugly, 0-0. I'm hoping that we nick one late, potentially on a counter. I could see it coming from Ndiaye or Decore. I absolutely can't stand watching Abdoulaye Decore anymore, but I do know he's capable of those mad moments of good fortune. So, all right, let me see your comments. Let me see your predictions here in the comments. Ross Robinson, 3/4 to no goals again. I'm not sure if I understand. Oh, 3-4. Oh, 3 or 4 to no, to 0 to nil. Okay. Broja good, but unless he can beat 4 defenders on his own, he's screwed. Yeah, that's what we've been saying about DCL for the past couple of years. We've been just asking our strikers to play in spaces where they get no support at all and hope for something. And then we come on post match and then we curse our strikers and say DCL is shite. But the truth is he had no real opportunity whatsoever. It's kind of rinse and repeat with Everton.
Well, that's why I think Bro, I can actually he's been. I've seen him. He's actually dropped and actually went and found the ball and stuff. That's where I think he might be a little bit different, which is what excites me. That's probably about the only thing that excites me at the moment.
Well, let's touch on this. The Blues says they're going to press us into a mistake and we'll lose from it. Bournemouth will aggressively press. So do we see Sean Dyche? If that trap is laid by Bournemouth, do we see Sean Dyche letting this sidewalk into it? Or are we just going to see Route 1 football, all day just to escape any chance of the press causing us any issues?
I think if Bournemouth try to press us, I think all we're going to see is us just basically defending, bombing it forward, and then it will just bounce to Zabani and their centre halves, and they're just going to basically just bring it straight back to us. That's where we need to see Breuer hold up the ball, and we need to see an outlet. Generally, we can see an outlet from Ndai because he actually does hold the ball up and he win fouls. So we need a lot from him. And that's essentially a defensive type play is to get it up to Ndai out from the defense, and that he can actually hold it up and win us some fouls, and then we can press forward. That's pretty much the way we counter. Not from open play, not from actual midfielders or defenders running through the lines and breaking lines. It's just from holding up play and getting fouled.
I think that might actually
one player.
Yeah, I think that might be the one opportunity we have to find goals today. Will be getting fouls and hopefully getting free kicks and somewhere in the midfield where we can get balls into the box and a crowd of people. That's when I talk about goals being fluky. Sometimes it's just that. Sometimes just bombing a ball forward into the mix and hoping it falls to the right feet. So we could potentially see that today. Forrest pressed us into a mistake too, but I'm not sure we can stop it. Yeah, and we're not the most technically gifted team there is, and we're incapable of building up play. So that's going to happen. I think Sean Dyche is going to be incredibly pragmatic and just bomb it forward, as we've seen. My question is will it be quick? We've seen moments where Jordan Pickford will gather the ball, move everyone, tell everyone to get upfield, and then take his time. It looked like in moments against Forest that he was catching and going. So I almost trying to catch Forest, who does like to sit back, almost trying to catch them sleeping or switched off at the moment. It'll be curious to see if Jordan Pickford plays quick or not and tries to get it over the Bournemouth press before it is even set up. Adam, we have just a couple more minutes left. Is there, anything else that you want to see today or anything else that you're expecting?
I just want to see us get crosses into box. I want to see chances. I want to see shots on target and shooting from distance, shots on target. Like, I think that's all you can. If the players are giving it everything, they're taking shots. Yeah, okay, their keeper does a blinder and saves those. Like, you can't really be mad with that. Like, we just want to see some competency in attacking and then putting crosses into the box and then getting heads on that. I don't really know what else you can really expect.
Yeah.
But I don't see that happening either. So
Wormy Spoons is predicting boredom. That's you can't go wrong when you predict that with the Sean Dyche team. If only you could put money on it. Let's see. We have any other good ones? Can't get Ferguson. We've used our loans already. That's going to be interesting. I know there was some talk about
Harrison leaving potentially.
Harrison leaving or potentially buying Broja. We'll see.
Maybe we can do the two, buy Broja and Harrison can leave. Then we got two loan spots.
Yeah, I think there was some comment made by, I won't even say who it was on Twitter and in a Twitter Evertonian in the know said that it would almost have to be my mutual consent that Harrison would go back to Leeds. So Leeds would have to want to accept him back and agree to pay his full wages. And I think Harrison is on pretty high wages. So the idea that Harrison would be welcome back.
Yeah, I've seen somewhere where I have to actually pay for him to leave.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I mean, where are we at when that has to happen? Like, come on, I think we've done something wrong there.
Yeah, and it's not like he's toxic. He's still a body. He still has a high work rate. He's still good in the dressing room. He's not causing problems. So I'm not going to spend precious money to make Jack Harrison go away. He's not been the player that we wanted him to be. Some of that is not on him. I think he's been playing out of position for his entire time at Everton. But he's just not. There's a reason why Leeds was relegated first and foremost, and a reason why he was able to come to Everton.
Yeah, we've never seen him play on the left wing. He's actually a left winger, but he doesn't play on the left.
Yeah,
that to me is mind-boggling. I don't understand that.
You would think he would at least get a game out there at some point. That hasn't been the case. All right, Ross, what do you got? It's not the worst squad in the league, though. The Blues Dyche hasn't got a clue. Can't disagree with you there. That's been the case. TJ, one ball over the top of Tarky and Young is the easiest way to score versus us. Potentially. Tarky has not been very good this season. I don't know. Do you have any explanation on what has happened to James Tarkowski this season? He was so
I think
great
he was
last
carrying
year.
an injury into the first couple of games of the season. I think it was yeah, I think it was his glute or something. He was had an injury, and I just don't think he's been completely on fire as what we've seen in the past. I think he was playing with the partnership of Keane initially, and then it's changed to Bramthwaite, and then he got injured. So there's been a little bit of a bounce around there. But yeah, like Taki, I think has been nursing an injury, and he's basically just been trying to still play every single game regardless. So I think that's potentially somewhat of an issue there. But then also maybe the whole long ball thing. Every time Taki gets the ball, it's just a long ball switch across up to the forwards or winger or whatnot. So, and that hasn't been effective. So when you keep on playing the same thing that doesn't work, it's going to look very bad for Taki.
Mm-hmm. Well, we'll see how this one works out today. I have a feeling that we kind of know what we're walking into. We're all going to hope that we can get a point. I'm hoping for 3. I think Sean Dyche needs 3 to be able to keep his job today. All right, Adam, one last prediction for you. Is Sean Dyche the manager of Everton tomorrow?
I'm probably going to say my heart's going to say I want it to say it's going. My heart says no, but I think reality, the freaking group keep him.
Yeah.
If he gets a draw or a win, he's probably staying.
Peter, hopefully not. Let me see. We're gonna jump over here in just a minute, but give me your comments real quick in the chat. Do you think Sean Dyche will be here tomorrow? My guy Spoons, hopefully not, but probably will. That's probably where I'm at. He will be lucky to get 3. He will be insanely lucky to get 3 today. He will be lucky to get a point, and incredibly fortunate to keep his job. If not, we've seen the Freakins. They will be reactive, and we've gotten statements leaked that Sean Dyche has their backing, but they cannot afford to let their brand new investment that's moving into a beautiful new state-of-the-art stadium start next season in the championship. So they really only have one choice after today if we don't, or if we're not able to take away a result, and that's going to be to remove Sean Dyche. Adam, great seeing you, mate. That was fun. It's been a little bit. All right, well, up the Toffees. I'll let everyone go a couple minutes early so we can get ready for the match. Adam, great seeing you, bud.
Yeah, you too, mate. Thanks.
All right. See, now I got to press the button. Hold on one second. I didn't have this ready, and we're out.